fans, welcome back to the SKC Fighter interview show. I'm your host, Brandon Halley. Today, I am joined by Christian Black Sheep Fighter Williams out of Rogue Combat Club in Asheville, North Carolina. Christian, how you doing today?
Doing great. Just got done with jiu-jitsu. How about you?
Pretty good, man. How was rolling? How was mat time?
It's a little rough, but hey, can always improve.
I feel you there. Every time I step on the jiu-jitsu mats, I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again, man. But
Yeah,
you know,
fish out of water
it's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's get right into it, man. I want to talk to you about how you got started in fighting, but also talk to me about the moment that you decided you wanted to start training.
I got into fighting because I used to get into trouble a lot, honestly. For fighting, just different. Hold on, let me put on my seatbelt. But just getting into fights at school. Found out I liked it. Was decent at it. But found out I wanted to start training about junior year of high school. Didn't start actually training until about 2 years out of high school. But yeah, Rogue was the first gym I went to and fell in love with it.
Talk to me about your goal in fighting.
Make it to the top, man. Like you should always strive to be the best in your sport, I believe. If you're not doing it to win, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Where do you want to be when you say at the top? What do you consider the top?
I want to move into MMA eventually, go to the UFC, get some fights in there, get a belt.
What is it like training at Rogue? I know you have awesome teammates. You have Isaac, you have Deuce, you have Yarrow also. Talk to me about what it's like training with those guys and how they've been able to pass on some of their experience to you and serve as mentors.
So of course they're all killers. I know I use Deuce a lot for personals. He helps me clean up my technique. He's not scared to pick out what you're doing wrong. He's not afraid to give you your props either. It's really good having those three in your corner, honestly. With Isaac, man, he definitely helps. He definitely helps keeping you honest with your range and your head movement and everything. And it's cool having people that got your back at all times in your corner. Yarrow's great guy, dude. He's a scrapper. It's always some fire rounds going with Yarrows and Isaac, man. I don't spar with Deuce a lot, but I spar Yarrows and Isaac a lot, and it's definitely a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually get to spar Yarrow for Deuce's birthday bash back in the end of February. Yeah, end of February. But
Yeah.
sparring Isaac, like obviously he's a big, tall dude, but like when you actually spar him and you feel like he's a fucking mountain, and it's so difficult getting on the inside because I'm shorter than him, right? It's funny because I'm usually the taller guy because I'm 6 feet. I'm usually the taller guy in the gym, but then fighting someone who's like 6'3", 6'4", man, that shit is a pain in the ass. So I want to talk about your upcoming fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you know about your opponent, and what are you doing differently in this camp to help you prepare for this fight?
I know he's been in it for a while. I've looked over his Instagram a little bit and everything. Looks like he's been doing this for about 10 years, somewhere around there. So definitely just drilling the basics, making sure my fundamentals are sound, because that's how you win, man. You got to have good fundamentals. If you don't have good, strong fundamentals, you're weak all around. There's no way you can expect to win a fight with flashy stuff and not have good fundamentals. So really just honing in my skills and making sure I'm ready.
How did it feel winning your last fight on the Southeast Muay Thai show, but also being able to win like the one of the fight of the nights?
To be honest, it was just about winning in front of my son for me. I lost my fight before that at SKC 4, and my son was not a fan of it. So it made me strive to work as hard as I could for that fight. For me to be able to have a win like that in front of my son was really something sweet. Especially
Yeah,
it was my birthday too. It was nice.
yeah, that's awesome, man. I love to hear that. I love hearing that, man. So, would you say that your son is definitely one of your whys?
Oh, 100%. If not my only one.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Talk to me about some of your favorite fighters you like to watch and how they've influenced your styles.
Hmm. Favorite fighters to watch. Obviously Adesanya. Adesanya's very technical. He's good on the feet and everything. Let's see. I also like watching dogs though, man. I like watching some dogs fight. So um I'd say I'm looking forward to the card this weekend watching Yuri. Yuri's one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's a scrapper for sure. Alex, just because of his power, dude, like the way he can shut out a guy's lights is just something different. But I'd have to say those are some of my favorites. Max Holloway, he's a dog. Like I like watching a good show, and they seem to put one on every time.
Talk to me about how martial arts has influenced your life. I of course want during my research, I came across one of your old Instagram posts, and I see a crazy amount of physical change within a year, like you mentioned. So, talk to me about what martial arts means to you and how it has impacted your life.
Uh, like I said before, man, I was really in a dark place before. I was getting in a lot of trouble. Couldn't keep my head on. Couldn't really commit to anything. But once I decided to start training, it changed everything for me. Like I got in shape before I got to Rogue. Um, just because I didn't want to walk in there and get my ass handed to me, of course. But so I got in shape about a year or two before that, and then actually heard about Johnny's gym through one of my friends that went to school with him. But I ended up making that phone call, man, and it's changed my life ever since. Like it's given me more discipline, and I've been able to carry that through more things throughout my life, and just overall like inner peace, man. Like it sounds kind of cliche, kind of corny or whatever, but it's way easier to shrug things off that happen in your day to day or save them for later, for like when you're in the middle of a fight and you've got one of those rough moments in your life. It's easier to just be able to navigate the day to day stress when you have something like martial arts in your life.
Yeah, man, respected that. Um, Talk to me about how you would describe your fight style to an audience who has never watched you fight.
Hmm. Describe my fight style to I definitely like to put on a show. I like to bang. I'm trying to get more away from banging though. I want to be known for being more technical than being hard headed. I think being hard headed is not having a good chin is not a good thing to be known for in the sport. The sport is getting hit and or taking hits, giving hits and not taking them. So I'd rather be known for being technical, but I'm working on that, but I try to make sure that regardless, it's always a show, and you try your heart out. Just I'm gonna leave my all in there regardless. Like I'm not just gonna roll over and just let somebody beat. That's for sure.
Let's talk about your MMA journey. So you said you want to transition to MMA. How's that
Yes.
looking like, and when can we see you in the cage?
So I just started getting back into jujitsu and everything. I was working at a couple minor injuries. I haven't been in jujitsu long, probably about 3, 4 months, maybe. So it's gonna be a minute. Got to get my blue belt first, drilling the basics and the fundamentals. But I'm hoping in like the next year or two, man.
Hell yeah, man. No, I think you got the frame to be an MMA fighter. I think you'll find a lot of success there. So I'm really excited to watch that first MMA
Oh,
debut. I know Deuce, your boy Deuce just had shout out to Deuce. He just had his first MMA fight. About a month. Yeah, about a month ago now.
yes, sir.
That first round knockout. So yeah, I'm
Hmm.
really excited to have yours also. Talk to me about some of your how your weight cuts look. So talk to me about your favorite foods that you like to go for during weight cuts, and then what you like to eat your post fight.
So this is only like my second time having to cut weight since I've been fighting heavyweight, and I've been the smaller guy in the division. That's mainly why I'm moving down. So I my my weight cut's going good right now, but honestly, it's more just cutting back my calories, maybe not eating as much as I was because I was having to bulk for heavyweight. Honestly, just eating normally, I'm already almost down to fight weight. I'm only like 11 pounds over right now. So just cut back the calories, maybe miss a meal every once in a while, and I'll be down healthy and strong, man.
Do you think you want to continue moving down the way until you find that like that sweet spot?
Um, I think 189 is probably going to be like 189, 185 area is probably going to be best for me just because I walk around at about 200. So 205. So it gives me about a 15 to 20 pound weight cut. Nothing too crazy, but nothing I'm trying to pass.
Mhm. Yeah, you work with a nutritionist at all or no?
Nah, not at the moment.
Yeah, man. Like, if you ever feel like you get to a point where like you're stressing about your weight a lot, I'd highly recommend that you work with a nutritionist. I've been telling all the fighters this too. Like, if you're serious about fighting, work with a nutritionist. Figure out your macros. Figure out what you should be eating. So, like the keyword that you mentioned, like oh, skipping a meal here and there, or just not eating as much. I mean, you're a pretty big boy too, but fighters can eat a lot more than they think they can, especially during like
Oh,
fight
for
camps.
sure.
So yeah, like if that's something that ever interests you, let me know. I can hook you up with my guy. But yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
ever
I'm
since I started
definitely
working,
cutting calories and macros and everything.
Mhm.
I've pretty much just cut back on carbs, eating about 200 carbs less a day, about 1,500 calories less. I'm still keeping my protein high so I can keep my body repairing itself. But besides that, it's not too much of a big change for me.
As long as you feel good, that's all that matters, man. Like all the numbers aside, as long as you're feeling good and you make the weight, that's really all that matters too, right?
Oh yeah.
So talk to me about your favorite striking drill that you like to do in the gym, and then also your favorite strength and conditioning drill.
Ooh, favorite striking. Um, of course, who doesn't love sparring? But I'd have to say my favorite striking drill,
What is
crackbacks,
that?
because um, returning off of being struck, because
Mm,
you got to expect, of course, it's the like I said, it's a game of giving hits and not taking them. So you're gonna get hit. It's like a fish. A fish is gonna get wet. It's in water. You're fighting. You're gonna get hit. So I think it's important to be able to take a hit and give it back immediately. You should be able to, because or else you're gonna lose on points, especially in kickboxing. You should be able to get hit, return right back.
favorite strength
And
and conditioning drill?
strength conditioning. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. I have a little. Let's see. My favorite lift would have to be Zercher squats. So I do like a lot of lifts and then corrective exercises afterwards. And then so Zercher squats, I love those. Kettlebell swings, and then I do like a little sprint circuit on each machine and then do sprints. So but I'd have to say Zercher squats are my favorite part of the strength and conditioning.
Hell yeah, dude. Talk to me about how you're adjusting your style from the last Muay Thai fight to this kickboxing bout.
Of course, there's no clinch, so keeping it long, keeping it precise. A lot more on the head movement, working more with head movement since I can't throw those elbows and knees and get in on that clinch. And especially the crackbacks. Crackbacks are essential. You don't want to lose points to like you miss a defensive block or something like that. You definitely want to be able to get your points back. You don't want to just get hit over and over again and not have an answer for it in kickboxing.
Before we start wrapping it up, I want to ask you, what statement do you want to make with this fight?
And I don't need clinch to win. That like that I can strike. I'm not just some punching bag that's gonna just let you roll over me. Like I can be technical. It's not always gonna look pretty sometimes. Fights aren't always pretty, but I can be technical, keep my range, and keep my head.
Respect to that, Christian. Any last shout outs you want to give out?
Hey man, just shout out SKC, Project Pantheon, all the homies. Just being able to do this, man, is a huge dream of mine. So shout out anybody that supports the sport, man.
And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Project Pantheon, like Christian had mentioned. Of course, Project Pantheon, Shipsco, and Dynamite Kickboxing. Come tune in live or on pay-per-view May 11th at the beautiful Foundry in Greenville, South Carolina for the SKC 5 card. Come watch Christian Williams and Isaac Udogwu fight in person or on pay-per-view at WKInternationals.tv.